Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. It's not just first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Um, just drinking on some water here, and yes, Jack, it's new water. It's fresh water.
Ooh,
Not 3 day old water. See, still cold and
not great
everything.
value.
It is not. No, no. We went someplace else. Ooh. But got my water. But most importantly, I usually do have great value. That's yeah. But we went somewhere else. I got my cup mug though, and that is the most important thing ever. Not panel full of cup mugs, panel full of cup mugs. And stop it, panel. You don't want to stop partying. It doesn't want to stop partying. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you want to keep the party going, and that's okay. You can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanajuicecreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, so there are no excuses. Get your cup merch, period. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel. And
Doodle?
God, does it feel good to know that when you don't do clownery, well, when you do clownery by not doing anything reasonable, it comes
Hmm.
back to bite.
Absolutely.
And I just have water, but it's not in a great value bottle. It's in a bottle.
Bottle.
I
Because
don't
Jack
know.
is
I didn't buy
fancy.
this.
I was a Jack's fancy.
It's fancy tap water.
Work.
It's Jack with a hydro flask for me.
It's not even like a slight nod towards Hydro Flask. It is like a discount of a discount of a discount of Hydro.
Well, hi everybody, it's Brook.
Who?
Um, that's the person who's probably winning the draft. Hi. Um, so yeah, I did the cast assessment video at the beginning of the season, and then I just didn't have time to watch the season. I've been very busy with my new job. I've been very busy with other endeavors, including covering the Challenge All Stars right here on the channel. Finale coming out this week, by the way, just a friendly reminder, so make sure to tune in for that, with Jack too. And we've been having a
Hmm.
great time doing that. I've just been very busy and I have not had time to do everything. But yesterday someone decided to say, well, Brooke, you're gonna win the drag race draft, but if you want to win the survivor draft, you need to show up to at least one of their recordings. And I took that challenge personally, and I will admit you are correct. So I'm here, and I'm ready to come in my room. Gonna snatch the crown. I'm also drinking water, but it is great value.
I mean, people act like their draft picks is done deal, like they're just gonna win. And I don't think that is always the case, but it's okay. It's all
It
right.
is this time.
So we think.
Well,
Well, I'm David Healy, the resident ice queen of the podcast.
Period.
And I'm just
Word.
drinking some water, and my intro is way shorter than Brooks.
And look, David came back to
Concise.
just in case Brooke didn't show up because
Hmm.
David was going to claim the thing. We were just gonna change Brooke's name right on the spot if Brooke did not show up. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Welcome, Brooke. We appreciate you gracing us with your ever loving presence for one episode because we know you won't be here Monday.
Yeah, you can't, you don't know that. You don't know that.
Look, now we don't have room for no, I'm just kidding. I ain't saying that. Now we don't have room for you now. We are here talking about Australian Survivor episode 23. What an episode it was. Everything is still Australian. It's still Survivor, and they are still playing this game. And we're going to take deep dive into it and talk all about it. But before we do, y'all know what to do. If you've been following us, thank you. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't been watching this and this is your first time, welcome, number one. And if you are just watching us for the first time on episode 23, choice. We have 22 other episodes that we talked about. So you should go check that out and, check us out as well. But we are on a mission here at the Cup TV and across the entire Cup network to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year because a lot of things unlock for us when we get 1,000 subscribers on our channels. So if you are a fan of the competitive reality television, and you must be if you're watching us right now, hit the subscribe button so we can have a lot of fun things that we can do with you later on if we get to 1,000 subscribers. Please and thank you. If you're a fan of drag or drag race, at the Cup Pod is the channel for you. If you're a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, where it's heating up and we got a lot of fun things because the season is about it's Eurovision season. It's upon us, you all. So check out at the Cup ESC. And if you're a fan of WWE wrestling, because it's WrestleMania next weekend, baby. So you want to check that out. So check out at the Cup ringside as well. There's a lot going on these channels, on these Cup streets. So we need y'all because Drag Race finale season 17 next week. Everything is happening next week. We got a finale here, two finales here. We have two finales on this channel this week. We have finale on Drag channel next week. Eurovision is heating up over there. They got the competition's about to happen. We got interviews coming your way. A lot of stuff going over there. And like I said, WrestleMania season is upon us. So we need
WrestleMania
you.
week.
WrestleMania week is now. WrestleMania week is now. So we got a lot of stuff coming our way. So check us out on all of the channels, and we appreciate you. Follow us on our audio podcast links that will be in the description below, as well as our Patreon to get fun things that we're doing behind the scenes, exclusive content, and all kinds of stuff. So join us on all of those things. We appreciate all the support. And now it's time to get into what we came here to talk about, and that is Australian Survivor episode 23. And we are back from Tribal, and Kate is gone. Kate's gone. And everybody's like, postgraduates! Woo! Yeah! No, nobody said Kate's gone. At this point, everybody's like, just the plan we wanted. This is how we want to be. But everybody's not happy about how this went about because we're more concerned with the votes than we are with Kate's departure. Um, Zara had, of course, had the immunity necklace, so she was the one who decided who was going to go home, and she went with Kate because Kate was her biggest competition. Big picture, I see why she did that. Smaller picture, maybe not so much the smartest thing to do, but whatever. I get it, understand. But AJ is more upset that Miles voted for him. It's like, why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? He says, but I respect the move. If it would have worked, I would have respected the move. But why did you do that? I don't understand why you did that. Why would you come for me? And I'm like, why wouldn't he come for you?
That's
Hello?
that's the thing about AJ is he is a smart player, but he can never ever ever give people credit for any moves that they do if it doesn't also benefit him. This whole season, he's been insulting other people for being stupid players when they do something that goes against what he wants to do. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, maybe you think that you have the best shared interest when it works for you, but that's not always their best interest. So I wish he could get outside of his own brain, get outside of his own shoes, humble himself, and see that there are other moves that make sense for other people that don't involve him.
Humble himself would be the key word there. And I don't know if he knows how to do that. That man has not humbled himself this entire season.
Also, he would be okay with the move if he was voted out bullshit real
Right.
quick. It's like, oh no, Zara and AJ both took you out. Great. Zara and Miles took you out. Great. You are now actively locked into voting the other person because you're bitter.
Yeah.
AJ gives me vibes very much, and we've seen throughout the whole season that if something doesn't go his way, he's permanently spiteful against every single person that did the wrong thing. So I 100% see AJ just going like, Yeah, no. I mean, you voted me out. It was the wrong move for you, regardless of anything else that happened prior or after. Yeah, no, I'm voting for the other person. There's nothing you can say to convince me otherwise.
Yeah. So I want to be full transparency for those folks that are watching at home. I have not watched every episode of the season. I have watched the last couple, and I've watched this one all the way through. And I rewatched a lot of the previous non-survivors to get the early merge, like the pre-merge stuff. So I am not fully through everything, but the energy I have gotten from these past few episodes is fully in agreement with all of that. And on top of that, the big thing that has really irked me about him is the way he speaks. Like everything that he says is just the correct way to look at the situation. Because he was talking about, well, like he was talking with Miles, and he said that Zara looks at you like a child, like you're a child. And I'm like, okay, maybe that's your perception, and maybe she does do that. I can't, I'm not gonna. She does give condescending energy. I'll be real, but saying that, and like Miles like lightly tried to push back a little bit on that, and he just shut it down like super fast. I was like, okay, this tells me pretty much everything I need to know about his ability, his ability to control perception, because I'll give him that. He's doing a good job of that. But two, his need for everyone to see things the way he sees it. And that's not the best trait to have as a Survivor player.
The only catch here, though, is like while he does always think he has the best move and the best, like he knows what's the best moves for everybody else, he also is a player that really thinks he's going to win at the end. So I do think that with that in mind, if somebody were to take him out of the game, he would be like, well, they took out the person that they knew they were going to lose against. So I can respect that. I think that's the only thing he can respect that would go against him is if somebody takes him out because he's going to beat them.
Yes. I think AJ if they would have gotten AJ out before Kate, he would have been bitter for that day. But I think the earlier you get him out, he would have had time to process it and be like, okay, this is the game we've got it. Now, if they get AJ out right before final two, AJ's bitter at whoever planned against him because he wouldn't have time to process it. It will take, because I think, like you said, AJ thinks he thought he had this game locked up 4 days ago. Like, look, he thought he had this game locked up at Merge. He was just like, oh, I have everybody on my side. I have everybody going against me. Nobody is coming for me. Nobody's saying my name. Everybody's listening to me. I'm getting information from everywhere. Everybody trusts AJ. He thought he had this game locked up at Merge. And then when he got a little bit of pushback, he got a little bit of nervous, but then we had Zara to come in and swoop in and save the day for him continuously over and over again, fighting back people from pushing AJ. And so now he thinks in his mind and his perception is that everybody wants him. He does not even realize when people are blocking the votes to going to him. It was so many votes that was supposed to go for him that other people blocked it, and he doesn't even know it. So he thinks he is just doing the whole plan, and other people will have to tell him that, like, or he will have to go home and watch it and see it happen. Like, oh, I was that close to going out, but this person stopped it from happening. Oh, this person stopped it from happening. I don't know. I just think AJ is one of those players. He just think he got it sewn in the bag, and he knows that whoever is left is going to take him with them. Everybody's going to take him. Sarah was going to take me. Mine's going to take me. Kaylin's going to take me. Somebody's going to take me. And I'm like, if he thinks that way, and he's telling all y'all that everybody's gonna take him, when are we gonna not take him? Like, when are we gonna get together and like, we are not taking him? I just don't understand. But
something really interesting with that too, a lot of the time in previous seasons when you have people like that don't recognize the work that other people have put in for their own game, it comes at the detriment to them when they get to final tribal, right? We have seen it a few times. I think the only reason Tony won Cagayan is because he was sitting next to Wu, right? When we see these people that don't have the perception of the things that other people have done to help their game, right? And the awareness of the dangers that their game has been in over the course of the season, it's bitten some people in the butt before. So we'll see. And I mean, hell, it's happened to people before Final Tribal before too. You don't know what can happen.
I will talk that at the end, but I am 99% sure we are going to see a situation like that occur at the Final Tribal this season.
Okay. But after everybody's congratulating the postgraduates for getting it, and AJ is still a little upset with Miles. Brooke talked about it a little bit earlier about how AJ was talking to Miles and saying that Zara doesn't respect his game. Kaylin doesn't respect his game. Zara treats him like a child. He was very annoyed the fact that Miles took that shot. And Zara, on the other hand, is very happy with the move that she made. And she's like, I did what I had to do. I wanted to light a little fire because AJ, you never thought Miles would come for you. So I had to show you that Miles actually is coming for you. And I'm just like, huh, okay. Again, great. That move will look good on your resume if you get there. But how do you suppose to get there if you don't have people who trust you enough? And what you just did to Miles, burn him with trusting you. Because Miles, 100% has Zara in his final 2 plans or final 3 plans. He was like, Zara is the person I want to take with me. And if I'm Miles at this point, I'm like, let's reconsider because I don't know if I can trust her after what she just did to me. So Miles is looking at her like, yeah, girl, Ice Queen, you are the Ice Queen, and I don't like ice. I don't like ice.
Can I say I feel so validated after what I said last episode, where I was like, "Oh, Kaylin is the person that she should have taken out." Because I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but Kaylin really became the glue between two people who were very much against each other in this episode. So
100%.
he should have been gone.
He should have been gone, and she wanted to play because her biggest threat was Kate, and I'm like, is it? Is it? I don't know. But
It might have been her biggest threat in terms of
challenges,
story,
maybe?
challenges, maybe story, but that you didn't have to do that right then because people were still looking at Kate as a problem for the jury of, oh, wait, no, Kate survived a lot. Even though she was like completely outnumbered, she survived a lot. You could have taken her out at Final 4, Final 3, and still had the same result. At Final 5 was absolutely not the right time to take Kate out.
Yeah, I watched the episode. I think it was the wrong decision. I watched last episode, this episode, the episode. I watched 6, 5, 4, and these episodes and all the recaps. Seeing what Kate has been through in terms of where her position has been in and getting like that fill in from like what I've seen online. I agree. She has a really good story and like a really compelling argument at the end. But realistically, she doesn't have the pool to get a flip going at this point. Even in this late game stage, the 4 of them have the numbers. They can kind of do whatever they want. And I think they are all acutely aware of the fact that if Kate is sitting at the end, she's probably going to win. So why on earth would you put yourself in that position? They're not going to. So when you get down to 4, that's the perfect time to get her out of the game. And even if she wins immunity at 4, you could probably beat her at 3. I don't see the logic there. And I really don't see the logic behind how everyone is suddenly against Miles for attempting to make a move. I think it was really kind of shitty, for lack of a better word.
I mean, but we do move on because
Guilt tripping is also a move. I'm just
it is a move.
it's also a move.
I will do that in any game I can, but that's just me. I promise you I will. But a lot of conversations beginning. We see a lot of 2x2 conversations, one-on-one conversations between Zara and because Zara talks to AJ and she's like, "Look, we are good. I saved you, and we're good. So, best scenario be you and Caitlyn is final 3. But what happens if Miles wins? AJ's like,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think
Red
about it. I
flag,
don't want
red
to talk.
flag, red flag.
Yeah.
100% red flag. If I go to somebody and say, what do we do if the person who we want not to win immunity wins the immunity? What we go do? I don't want to talk about it. Nah, nah.
You
So
I'm
could have
just
said
out.
lie
this
to her. Just
yesterday.
lie.
Just lie and be like, yes, we gonna put out Caitlyn. Like she was like, would you vote Caitlyn? And she was like, I don't want to think about it. Like, say yes. Be like, yes, I will vote out Caitlyn for you. So she can get comfortable. That is the whole main purpose. Even if you're going to vote her out, you try to make that person feel as comfortable as
Yeah.
possible. So they not
Don't
running
give her a
around
reason
acting
to try to tie it up with a
ri-
vote between her and you.
right. I was like, oh, absolutely, I'll get rid of Caitlyn. This is the absolute best time to get rid of Caitlyn. Why wouldn't we get rid of Caitlyn at this point? Hello? AJ, hello. But he like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about that. That's not something I want to think about. I don't want to talk about it. And she like, but I mean, no, for real, seriously. What will we do if Miles wins? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I'm like, not once, but twice. You go sit there and say you don't want to think about it. And she's like, that don't make me feel confident. And you're like, okay, let's go make some rice.
It,
Hello?
it's that
No.
simple. I mean, if he's not even willing to consider, because okay, Miles is safe, and if AJ and Zara are talking, there is exactly one other name that can be voted. So it's not even a question of like, who are we going to vote for? It is a question of, will you not vote me?
And he
And
wouldn't
this made
talk
it
about it.
blatantly clear that AJ was not trusting of Zara and was like, I'm going to vote you out if it comes to it. I genuinely don't care.
I was sorry. I was like going and begging at the mercy of Miles' feet. Like, I am so sorry. This
Mm-hmm.
is not what I want to do. I was just trying to
Mm-hmm.
make a point, and it was a bad call on my part. So let's figure this thing out. Because I know I broke your trust. Can I gain it back? I would have did that at that point, not after immunity. Not. I'm trying to cover all bases. I'm going to Miles. I'm apologizing. Like I thought I was gonna make this big move. Now I slept on it. Realized, that might not have been the best move. We should have got rid of AJ. I am down for that if that's what you're down for. Just in case something happens. I don't know what's gonna happen in the community, but blah blah blah. Then I would have went to Caleb and been like, look here. If something happens, if Miles wins, would you be willing to vote out AJ? And I'm listening to what Kaylin said. If he don't want to talk about it either, I know I'm in trouble. I know I'm in trouble, and we're gonna have to figure this thing out. And neither one of them want to talk about it. And the other person I done burned. I got some work to do. And she just I don't know
It was
what
that
was going
simple.
through her mind. I don't understand. Like, why didn't she go apologize to Miles? I would have went and be like, I know the move I made was not the move you wanted me to make. And I slept on it, processed it. I should have listened to you because that was just not the best. I just so desperately like give him the whole, like you said, David, guilt tripping at I so desperately wanted a big move, Miles, because I don't have anything on my resume. And I really, really I just didn't think about it. I'm sorry. I didn't think I just really wanted to play this game, but I was trying to play the best that I can, and I just messed up. But I feel like me and you need to be at this end together because we are the two people who played the like closely and we know each other's game. Like I'm gonna lay it on so super thick. I'm not leaving this game without fighting for my life. Even if it doesn't work, I'm going to exhaust every little thing that I can do. And if AJ is not willing to talk to me about it, and Kaylin is not willing to talk to me about it, your only hope at this point is Miles. I would have stayed on Miles's butt like white on rice. I would have been on him all day. Like, can I gain this trust back? Can I gain your trust back? What could I do? What should I do? Blah blah blah. I'm gonna go out and try to win the immunity, but y'all know it's looks likely that Zara against Kaylin, AJ, and Miles, especially when I walked in and saw what the immunity challenge was. God, I can't win this. I'm not winning this. I'm not winning this. Miles, I'm rooting on Miles loudly and in front of AJ's face. Since you don't want to talk about it, that's who I'm rooting for. I would have made it known, but I don't know. That's just
I
me.
mean,
That's just me.
this could have been very simply avoided by Zara asking yesterday, okay, we get rid of Kate. What happens next round? What is your plan next round? If she simply questions AJ about his plan for the next round, she realizes this is an issue. She looked at the final five solely, saw that she could make a move, and very clearly, I want to state this, she could decide the move that she wanted to make for a long time and had ego tripped over for like 3 rounds, and she saw that she could finally do the thing she wanted to do. And that's all she cared about. She did not think about any consequences.
Just because you can doesn't mean
Doesn't
you
mean you
should.
should.
Exactly.
Ooh. But
She stopped thinking. And
she stopped
that's what that is why things happened.
that's why things that happened. But we get to the immunity challenge. And this immunity challenge is like simply you have to what was the first part?
The
Dang,
Big
I
Brother
forgot the first part.
headphones veto.
They had the rope and the obstacle
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
unrope themselves. And I said, what was the first part of this challenge? They had to untangle themselves and get enough rope to run back to get a key to unhook themselves from the rope. Then they had to go throw these sandbags, wham, try to get the thing to keep spinning to come off so you can get the disc off the thing after you cross the balance beam, of course, because of course you need to cross the balance beam. Why wouldn't you have to cross the balance beam to get to the disc to take off the disc? Then once you get off the disc, you got to go take the disc and put them in these places because now that's your ladder, and that is how you're going to get over the big board. And finally, when you get over the big board, you then have to um
The balls and the
Roll
pan
balls.
the
thing.
balls in the
and lay
divot.
them into divots.
You got to get 4 balls into the divots on this rickety thingy that they have to hold up.
5.
And if it was 4 or 5,
Five.
4, right? It was 5 balls, 5 balls. And once the balls get in the divots, you win. But if the ball falls off, you got to go get it and start all over again.
Am I wrong for saying that US Survivor has used that last half as just its own immunity challenge a few times? Because I
Yes.
feel like I've seen that specifically on American Survivor with the little pan-shaped platform rolling these balls down to try to nail them in these little divots. And like I feel like they've used that as an immunity challenge by itself before.
I feel like it was bigger with more things to knock it off. Like the
Yeah, it was
rails
longer,
came
too.
off longer, and it was just a bigger
I think
thing.
they
And
had
it
the
was
balance.
a team.
There
Was it?
This
Big
challenge
more?
was essentially just 3 different challenges that have already existed merged together, aka what production had not used up to that point.
Always lovely seeing the Big Brother headphones veto make an appearance. It's thrilling for me. Every time it's used on Big Brother, it leads to an exciting outcome. Okay, it was the Big Brother Canada 5 double eviction when Netta went home. It was the double eviction on Big Brother 25 when Michael went home. It was the AI arena that Rubino won, which led to a good outcome. So, like on the whole, this is a good thing. We like seeing it.
I mean, we've seen this on Survivor several times, and I love seeing it. I don't mind being it. I just like how they put it all together, and we had this own thing because, of course, we just couldn't make it simple, like just 1, 2 things, and then you're at the puzzle. No, you have to do 5 different things, and then get to the puzzle. That's great. But we get there. Miles unhooks himself first, and he's done. Kaylin had a chance, had to go back because he didn't pull enough rope. But
Mhm.
then AJ gets to the rope. Kaylin gets to the rope. They're all gone. Zara is still struggling trying to get over the first obstacle, but she does it. She does it. She gets over it. Everybody gets there. Miles is good lead ahead, throwing the sandbags. This come down. He goes. Miles is ahead most of this challenge, pretty much all of this challenge. I'll say he goes across. He has a lot of time to work at the paddleboard divot thingy. Has a lot of time. Zara never gets off of throwing the sandbags to the thing. She just can't do it. But Kaylin and AJ do, and they're all there.
Is it still going?
It still goes. It's so funny. It's the funniest thing. So I was like, how much longer is this happening?
Like, finish up, guys. Come on.
Come on, I'm sick of throwing these sandbags. Wrap it up. But
who was it? Because they had that same like spinny thing on a season of Survivor once, and was it War Dog that couldn't hit the bag, and it was like super hard to watch. I think it was War Dog. This is one of the hardest things I have ever cringed at on an episode of Australian Survivor, watching Zara miss this little spinny thing over and over and over again.
I think she hit it once that we saw.
She
That
maybe
we
hit
saw.
it once.
That,
Yeah.
I thought that we saw. Like, she could have hit it more than that, but we only saw her hit it once. And then it was like, here's the actual spinny thing, and here's where her Zara was, the bags were going. She's like, whoop, nope.
Yeah, I would have been the
Whoop,
same
nope.
way. I would have been the same way as Zara.
Me too, because I have no aim at all. I was like, you know what? As soon as I saw all three of them get over that thing, I'm not throwing no more. Like, what's for? Like, I'm
Well,
done.
Natalie, sit down at the puzzle. Just wait for the challenge
Exactly.
to be over.
JLP would have been like, you sitting down? I'm like, for what, JLP? Why am I standing up here throwing all these sandbags? I'm sure she had to get down and go get some more sandbags after a while, because she probably threw all of hers the first time. But at the end of it all, it was just like, uh, it was my favorite part of this was seeing Kaylin come over the thing for the first time and grab the puzzle, and he's like, like, this thing is moving, and that ball was like, boop, and he's like, oh, okay, wait, calm down. And then he gets into it. Like, I was like, why would you think you can come in like a bull in a china shop with this little puzzle thing? He's like, like,
Did you all notice there was one point where he like landed a ball and then he had a second one that went and then it dropped?
yeah,
And so you have to go get that. But my thought was like, oh, if you drop one, you drop them all, basically.
that's
But
what I thought
he was
too.
like trying to hold it steady and trying to retrieve the second
The other
ball. I'm
ball.
like, are you even allowed to do that?
JLB ain't say nothing.
I don't
know.
I mean,
No
by
one
the
said
time
stop.
he got back, there was no balls on his platform anymore.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
didn't work anyways. But
Well, I always thought you couldn't touch the actual apparatus of the puzzle. You could only use the handles
that's what I thought.
were there. So I don't know.
I don't know either, but it didn't work no way because
Didn't matter.
didn't matter. Miles won. Good on you, Miles. I was so happy. I literally was like, yes, Miles, because they were coming for Miles's neck. And I was very happy that, number one, he got to check that box off his bucket list, Survivor bucket list, like he said he wanted. And I was like, when JLP asked him about it, I was like, are we foreshadowing? Are we
Yes.
foreshadowing? And then I was like, yeah, we're
Mhm.
foreshadowing.
Even
Got
like
it.
the conversation about what do we do if Miles wins immunity? I was like,
Yes.
is this foreshadowing?
Yep.
And especially since we saw that preview last week, and who were they coming for in that preview?
And we
And what-
said
what do
every
we know
time they
about
say that, when they say their name, they're not gonna
Yep.
go.
You know,
So-
Murphy's Law just dictates that anytime someone is the odd person out on Survivor, they will win immunity. Okay? it has happened every time I can think of, like Sheehan and Abby and now Miles and Mike Holloway. Like, a bunch of people have done this several times.
I love it. I'm here for it. I'm like, good on you,
Ah,
Miles.
oh,
Good on
no.
you. Oh no, Miles won. Oh, whatever do we do between
Now
the
we're
people
getting
who
into
don't want to
the
talk about it?
competition.
I want to know
Yeah.
what we do about the people who don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it.
It's like,
Now
oh
you gotta
no,
talk
but now
about
you
it.
have to
Now we
talk
gotta
about
talk
it.
about
And
it.
Zara has very quickly realized either she is making fire or she's not making fire and she's on the jury. Like, her best option at this point is going to fire.
That's
Even in
unfortunate.
this moment, she just knows she's basically screwed.
How unfortunate. If
How
only there was
unfortunate.
something she could have done to prevent this outcome from occurring. Like, even last round, even. Man, what if only?
I mean, we get back to camp, and she's talking to AJ, and AJ's like, My best bet is to go with Kaylin. And she's like, excuse me?
He's like, I'm done pretending.
She's like, wait, what? She's like, my best bet is to go with Kaylin at this point because Miles is gonna go for me. And if you vote with Miles, it's 2-on-2, and I vote with Kaylin, and that's the best bet. And she's like, but I saved you yesterday. And he's like, yeah, that was yesterday. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
I will
Thanks
say,
so much.
I will say though, it was really interesting to watch AJ break apart the process of this vote because I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, and I'm not going to talk about every Survivor season, but like hearing people talk about their strategy at Final Four always interests me because it's never as cut and dry as we might think it is. Like sometimes it's just three people in the majority, they're going to go to the final three together and they're going to vote out the odd person who loses immunity. Okay, cool, whatever. But when we get these like situations where the odd person outwins immunity and suddenly it's just, okay, what do I have to do to try to make sure the votes aren't on me? Because 2 is not a very high number at this point. Like it is super easy to get votes at this tribal council and be the person who is going home or at least going to fire making. AJ saying, even if under some circumstance I voted for Kaylin and voted Kaylin out, right? And I vote with you and I vote with Miles and the three of us vote for you, I don't trust you two enough to say that we're all going to stick together and vote Kaylin out of here. I don't believe it, and I'm not going to pretend like I believe it. Logically, this was the most sound strategy I have seen from a person on Survivor in years. It, like explaining his logic. This is why I am doing this. It is nothing personal, but I don't believe you. And I'm not going to take the risk when I do believe this other person who I would rather go to the end with anyway. Like, it was fascinating to me.
I agree. It's great logic. It's great logic to explain to the cameras, not to Zara. Like, if there's any chance that you can get her to not vote for you and to vote for Kaylin instead, take that. Give it to her. Just throw that out there. But I don't know. I don't know why he was saying, no, vote for me. Vote for me because I'm not going to work with you. But I think what's really interesting with AJ here was he kept talking about, I don't want to face a 2-on-1 vote. And what's fascinating about Australian Survivor is I don't know exactly the number, but I could guarantee you, like pretty much, that of the 9 previous seasons, at least half of them had a 2-1-1 vote at Final Four, which is wild. It's wild that it happens so often in
If
Australian
only we
Survivor.
could see Final Four votes in American Survivor.
Yeah, I wasn't.
And
Well,
wouldn't that be great?
With American Survivor? Oh, you're saying if we could? Yeah, that would
If
be.
we could, it would be
Wouldn't
great.
that
to
be
see
delightful?
It would be lovely to see a full
Yep.
vote. But
So I think he made the right decision to want to stick with Kaylin, but I don't know that it was the best decision to let Zara
say it.
Yeah.
One thing I will say about Zara, she was not just going to go
Roll
quietly
over.
into the night. Like, she was like, I'm going to try, because she went to Kaylin, she went to Miles, she went back to AJ, back to Kaylin, back to Miles, was like, I need to know what we are doing. Is there a solution where we cannot vote for me? Is there a way we can get, because Kaylin told her, no, I'm voting. I promised AJ. I promised AJ that I will vote with AJ. So Miles is like, and I want to vote for AJ. So I was like, my only bet is to vote for AJ and go for fire. Okay. And she tried to use the guilt trip with Kaylin. It was like, hey, I saved you. I saved you yesterday, and I could have went for you and took you out, and I didn't. And he's like, yeah, I know, and I'm sorry. I hate this Zars. Like, I really do hate this so much. But what the best thing I can do is show you how to make fire. I can't vote for you though, but I can show you how to make fire. And I'm like, oh, that's very nice and that's very sweet. I don't know if I would be like, she was like, what else choice do I have? Because if I have to go to fire, I need some help to know how to make it. So that's fine, I guess. But in that moment, if I was Zara, I would feel so like,
I mean,
I don't know what else to do with you people.
it is Kaylin basically setting. It's Kaylin doing what AJ didn't. Of Kaylin being like, look, I can't promise I won't vote for you, but if you convince Miles, I'll help you make fire. and basically try and swing her that, like, oh, I'm sorry, I just genuinely didn't think you could get Miles. If I had known that, I probably would have voted with you. But since I helped you out yesterday, if you just so happen to win the final three challenge, you could take me. Like, it's 100% a move on Kaylin's part to be like, it's good for you to go for me, but if you stay, let me make sure that you are in good graces with me over Miles. And it's really smart.
It's the best thing that he could offer her, and she had to take it. At this point, like I said, it was nothing
Yep.
that she could do at this point because AJ flat out was like, "Nope, not vote with you because I don't trust you." And Miles to not vote me, and I'm sticking with Kaylin. Kaylin sticking with me. That's just what it is, and it was just that simple for
Yeah.
them in that point. So we get to tribal because really, what else is there to talk about? Because there was nothing for her to say and nothing for them to tell her. It was like this is what's going to happen. Now she goes into tribal thinking I'm making fire because AJ and I are going to be up because Miles and myself are voting for AJ, and um, AJ and Kaylin are voting for me. So
Mm-hmm.
let me get myself ready to make some fire. And she gets there and she's like, JLP, I'm ready to make fire because I think they would want to make fire because that's how Miles and two people of this tribe think. They like the flare, they like the things to see things happen. So I'm prepared to do what I got to do and make fire if I have to. And so JLP is like, so is that what we doing? Everybody in this, we're making fire, and they just like, probably.
Sure.
Probably. We because it was just like, what do we do at this point? Even my favorite part though was Miles when they asked Miles. Of course, Miles has the necklace, and Miles he was like, "Jay, you got emotional with the Miles with your necklace." He was like, "Yeah, because I probably would have been gone if I didn't win this. I would probably be gone." And JF was like, "Is that true?" Everybody like, "Yep, probably so." I'm like, "Wow,
My
okay."
single favorite part of this entire episode, my favorite line I have heard on reality TV in about a year was JLP asking AJ, so you have a choice between Zara or Kaylin tonight. What's your thought process going into this vote? AJ responding, my thought process is I know how to spell Zara's name. And
And she was like, he
I
gagged
was
her.
gagged.
He gagged her. He go. She was gooped, gagged, and retrieval that he said that. She knew that, but she was gagged. He said that, and the jury was like, "Oh, oh, oh," and I
And
was like,
the other
And
really
that's it.
interesting thing that happened to me on this episode was we see Kate finding out in the jury that Zara was the reason she went home, and Kate had a bit of a reaction to that of
Oh,
like
that's
oh,
interesting.
that's
Yep.
I
interesting.
Which I
think she
don't think
was
that
more.
did her any favors, Zara.
Yeah, I don't think that did her any favors, and I think Kate was more surprised that AJ was the one that voted for her. I'm sure she didn't know it was AJ who voted for her. She probably thought it was Kaylin who voted for her. But to hear that it was AJ who she had been the closest with, she was probably shocked to hear that AJ voted for her. So she was like, "Oh, not only did
Okay.
you vote for me, but you're the one who put the net." Okay, gotcha,
So
got it.
all that trust I, had with
Hmm.
KJ, sorry, that I had with AJ and I had with Zara are
Hmm.
just gone.
Hmm.
Great, cool. I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't think.
one of them's going home, and that means I can just vote the other person
I just feel like a lot of them feel like they have to tell the jury their moves right now, and I'm
for
like,
some reason.
for some reason, I'm like, you don't
Yeah.
have to do that right now. You can save that for final tribal council if you make it, or if you don't make it, you can just tell them to them when they get to the jury house, and there's nothing they can do
Hmm.
about it. But like, why are we sitting here now when I'm still in the game? The game is
Mhm.
still happening, and I feel the need to tell them, oh yeah, this move, I did this, I did that. It's like, hmm, hmm. But they were prepared. Zara was prepared for fire. And GLP was like, after AJ gagged her, it was like, oh, well, guess we don't have anything else to say. So let's go vote. And the vote happens. And we see Zara, of course, votes for AJ. And we see AJ, of course, vote for Zara. And we didn't see Caitlin's vote, did we? I don't think we saw Caitlin's vote, but we knew where he was going.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely didn't see Miles's vote. But let me get my little menu because we need to see that the vote comes back. One vote Zara, one vote AJ, one vote Zara. 19th person voted out.
Yeah.
It's
Whoops.
Zara. Oops.
You did it to
And
yourself.
you did it to yourself. My favorite thing, and it happened in the after when Zara was like, ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Miles line to Zara when he said, I gave you the opportunity to make a move and you didn't take it. So therefore, I can't trust you. And I was like, well,
Facts are facts, America.
facts are facts.
Facts are
I
facts,
get it.
Australia.
I get it, but I still don't. I don't. I think Miles should have tied it up because he had nothing to lose here.
He should have.
Yeah.
It would have
So
been funny
He
to see.
should have.
But the interesting thing, David, and the reason why I think he shouldn't and did not need to, right? One, he has to hope in some degree that Kalen saying he is going to take him to final two could be legitimate. And I
don't tie it with Caitlin. Tie it
no,
with AJ.
no. What I'm
No.
saying is
Same with
him-
Kalen
no,
saying he would
because
take
Kalen
Miles
had
to the
pitched to
final
him, if
two.
you vote with us, I will take you to final two,
Mhm.
right? He has to have some thought that maybe it's possible that that could happen. If Zara's probably going to go home anyway, cool. I'll just go ahead and jump on this train and get her out of here. Secondly, and perhaps more importantly to me, this gives Zara had done something in the last episode that had pushed her up to the point where getting her out of the game over AJ is better for Miles, I think, in terms of the jury. Because jury, based on the reactions we were seeing at Tribal tonight, weren't very thrilled with the outcome of the last Tribal Council. And when they found out that Zara was the one who, in their mind, was the one who did it, and honestly is the one who did it, is the one that got that whole situation in motion. Him taking out Zara, being part of voting for Zara and voting her out of the game, probably earned him some brownie points with the jury.
Why not beat that person in the final two at the end?
Because at that point you're supporting the person up until the end versus directly throwing them out of the game. I can also see it
But goats
as
lose for a reason. Like she would have been the
goats
goat.
lose for a reason, but Zara and Miles have two different games, and there's a lot of weird.
All I'm saying
counterplay
is
on that.
if you have Kaylin saying he's going to take you to the final two, and you have Zara saying she'll take you to the final two, easy. I'm voting
He
AJ.
beats them both.
I mean,
In my head.
I
In my
can
head,
see
he beats
that,
them
I
both.
guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you really don't have anything to lose by voting AJ. You're
agree.
immune, so you're safe. Sure, he might win fire, he might not. If he wins fire, good for him. But at least I gave myself a chance to have two different people in the final three that were going to take me to the end.
See, but then
Right.
the other problem is that if he does vote for AJ and AJ does win fire, he is then responsible for getting Zara out of the game and earning those brownie points with the jury. And then also that gives AJ another move to put on
But
his resume.
there's already not really a logistical scenario where it's going to be AJ and Miles in the final two, anyways. So what does it
But-
matter if AJ has a move? I'm not going to be in the final two with him. He's not taking me.
Raise your final
I'm not
twos.
taking him.
And
Team
here's
raise
the
your final
thing.
twos.
I mean, here's the thing though. If I was Miles, I would have just voted for AJ and let them fight it out because AJ has made it clear he is not taking Miles to the final two. He's not. But Kaylin and Zara both have said they would. So I'm like, if AJ wins, I only have to deal with Kaylin. And I feel like even if there's a small sliver of hope that I can convince Kaylin not to take AJ, I'm gonna have that shot. But if AJ loses and Zara's here, both of these people have said they will take me to the final two with them. And even if it's a small possibility, I might not win the immunity, and one of them do, they have both said it, and I have a chance. I have a small chance. Now they could easily turn it against me and send me home in the final three. But at least both of them have made that promise. And I did what I said I was going to do to keep that promise to the two of them. So they really don't have a reason not to believe that. I feel like a 2 to 1 odd chance instead of one, the one person chance is better. But either way it goes, Miles didn't have anything to lose at this point.
Right.
Either way he took, he could have sent out
Yeah.
put AJ and Zara in the fire, fine, or he could send Zara home, which he did. Fine, it doesn't matter at this point. He just has to know it's the harder road now is beating AJ
Yeah. And
and Kayla.
even Zara losing fire, which she probably was going to do anyways. She's leaving like, hey, Miles gave me a shot. He gave me a chance. So that earned something.
But I don't think Zara's gonna be bitter. And maybe that's just me. But like
You ain't watching enough of the season. Zara probably gonna be bitter.
Yeah, Zara's
Zara probably gonna be bitter.
very,
She is.
very
She's
She
gonna-
bitter.
holds a grudge like nobody's business, and she said it herself. I am one to hold a grudge.
but then now she's holding a grudge against everybody because they all voted her out. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the logic behind this could get Zara's vote. I see where you're coming from. I fully understand. I honestly don't think he had a wrong decision to make here between the two of them. I think he could have voted either way. I think he is in a good spot in this final three. He is just as well positioned as he would be no matter the
I
outcome.
think he's in the worst spot.
I think he's in the worst spot, to be honest, because when it comes to this final three immunity challenge, this is looking better for Kaylin than it does for either AJ or Miles. I don't know about nobody else. I think Kaylin beats any of them in an endurance
Kalen's
challenge.
taking AJ.
And Kaylin probably takes AJ. For sure he takes AJ. So I
I
think
don't
this puts
know.
him in the worst spot. I mean, Miles did
I
his best by trying to convince Kaylin that AJ is not the best move in his game. He has moves, he has all this stuff, he's manipulative. And Kaylin was like, yeah, because AJ has been telling me this whole time he was coming for me. And Miles was like, if I was coming for you, I would have came for you last time, and I didn't. So maybe, but I still think he's taking AJ.
I have a little bit of doubt in all of this only because I think Miles basically was primed starting the day with everyone wants to take me out and that
Mhm.
I am essentially screwed unless I win immunity. So in my mind, at least, it potentially clouds his judgment a little bit of like, I don't know. They're just gonna tell me whatever they want me to hear, and then they're just gonna blindside me anyway. So maybe that is why he didn't take that. Like, oh, well, Zara said she's gonna take me. Kaylin
Mhm.
said he's gonna take me. They were looking to get rid of me before I had the necklace on. They've been
Mhm.
looking to get rid of me multiple times. I don't trust a word that they're saying, and I just need to rely on myself. And at this point,
I don't believe Zara for a second when she said she was going to take Miles that they voted
I
out.
don't
She just saved him. She could have easily taken. Well, she could have. Okay, he saved himself with the idol, but taking that
Yeah.
out of consideration, she did not vote for him. She could have piled on votes with him with Kaylin, and he would have had
everyone
the
knew,
most votes.
But
everyone
it's less
knew
about the
Miles had an
No,
idol.
the only person that knew was AJ. Other people
Yeah.
speculated it.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I mean,
I was about
but
to say, they
even
didn't
then,
know.
even without the votes at Final Five, right? What I'm saying is, Zara, clearly from these episodes that I've watched alone, wants to win the game, and I think she knows she cannot beat Miles in a Final Two. And I
Zara
don't think,
cannot beat any of them in the final
but she
two, to
thinks,
be
in my
honest.
mind, based on the edit we got, I think she thinks her best shot is against Caitlyn.
I think
Based on
so
the
too.
edit,
I
based
think
on the edit
everybody thinks their best shot is against Kaylin.
because they're correct. And
No, they're not. Not fully.
I
I'm
have
not fully
doubts
convinced of
that
that.
Kaylin is the GOAT that they're trying to be, but also I think an issue is that a lot of Kaylin's gameplay has been shadowed by like other people saying this is what Kaylin is doing versus Kaylin telling us, "Oh, I'm doing this." We've had a couple moments of it, but Kaylin has never been a narrator. Kaylin has never pushed it the entire time.
Kaylin has
It's
been
always
a narrator.
on like one or two episodes.
I mean,
But
I felt good about Kaylin since episode 3, and there was a reason for that. I think Kaylin is very much like Tommy Sheehan from season 39 of Survivor. Like, I get the same kind of vibes from him. Like, sure, he might not be out front making all of the big moves, but he's playing such a good social game that could really get him some votes in the end.
I mean, again, I'm not going to discount a social game because at the end of the day, Survivor and most of these reality shows are social games, right? You want to be able to vote people out and for them to like you well enough and respect you enough to vote for you in the end. That is the core of this game, right? But I'm not saying that Kaylin is a GOAT. I think Zara was, out of the four of them, the GOAT to take to the end that nobody was going to vote for. I think AJ's best shot out of the people that are left is against Kaylin. I think Miles' best shot out of the people that are left is against Kaylin. I think Zara, when she was in the game, her best shot was against Kaylin. Because I'm not saying he hasn't played a good game. I don't think he's a GOAT in any respect. From what I've seen and what I've heard, he's played a great game. There's no denying that. He's played a really strong social game. Even in this episode, he was helping Zara learn how to make fire before this final fire making, even though he was going to vote for her and send her home, possibly. He didn't know what Miles was going to do. He wanted to give her the best shot he could because he genuinely cared about her and has built a good social relationship with her.
Mm-hmm. I will say, if I had only seen the episodes you had seen, I would probably agree. But you didn't see how AJ rubs so many people the wrong way. So I'm not convinced that he's not the best person to take.
That's my whole thing. That's what I'm saying. If AJ's best chance to win this game is to sit next to Miles, but I think AJ's pride is too prideful in a way to actually sit next to Miles because AJ and Miles's games are so intertwined, so connected from day one. They have been connected. They have been connected, and
before things went pear-shaped.
Right. But they have been together. And up until that last point, they had each other's back. Up until Miles voted
up
for
until
AJ.
the pointy end of the game.
Right. But I feel like Kaylin, people respect Kaylin enough in this game where they like, okay, we like Kaylin. Kaylin has not rubbed people the wrong way. He's not really lied to people. He didn't make them feel like crap on their way out the door. And he just never had to lie to people in their face and then send them out the door. He was just like, I'm doing what the group is doing and we go do it. Even though he planted the seeds for that vote to be the way it happened. Like he was planting seeds on people days before other people say, "Oh, let's do this person." Kaylin had already started that ball rolling, and then they'd come back around and be like, "Oh yeah, let's do that." And they're like, "Yeah, that's fine with me. That's what I wanted in the first place." So I don't think that. Do I think Kaylin has an easy way to win this game? No, it's going to be a very tough road for him to try to explain his game. But I think if he can explain his game the best way that he can and not just come off as I'm just good old Kaylin, just like to pick up coconuts to go fishing. If he turns it around and get in that final two and break his game down like a fraction and impress the jury, he has a really good chance of winning because people like him, they respect him, and he has broken the record of how many challenges he's won. And if he wins this upcoming final three challenge, add another one to his story. His story is not. He's not dead in the water, and he's not just like you said. He's not the GOAT that they think that he is. They just think he's not strategic. But if he can break his game down and show his strategic side, like my whole plan was to lay low this entire game and let other people cannibalize themselves, and that is exactly what happened. And people not only knew I was a threat, but then they started saving me, and because they just liked me enough, they didn't want to go against me, but they let me get all the way to this final three as a challenged beast and still be here and win and hold on to this necklace and going into final three. Are we crazy? Who does that? The jury will be impressed. I just think it's the way he just has to explain it and break it down to impress the jury. Now, AJ and Miles, they have the moves to back up everything they said. Miles and his 4 idle plays, AJ and his holding hostage strategy and rubbing people the wrong way and all of this thing, but still ending up here. Great story. I just don't know if people are going to like him, like them enough to want to vote for him. Like I like who do I want to see win Survivor? Because you can go either way. And some juries, some people in the jury are gonna be like, strategy, gameplay. That's what I like. And some people gonna be like, I just don't like him. And I'm not gonna give him $500,000 because I don't like him. I can see some of them people in that jury saying that. And I just also want to throw in before I stop talking. I was right. I said very early on in this game, there's not going to be a woman win this game because none of these women know how to think about the bigger logical picture. They were just all about emotion. They were like, I'm mad at you, I'm going for you, and that's just that. And I knew none of them was going to make it to the end. I just knew it. I knew it. I'm mad about it because there was a very strong women in this game, and I was like, these are some good ones.
I think this is the first.
Blew it.
I think this is the first final 3 of all men in Australian Survivor history, and I
Correct.
think it's the
Wow.
first since Nicaragua.
It's I believe everything you just said is correct. I will cite the exact trivia here.
Wow. I
I
knew it. I knew it though, y'all. I knew it. I knew they weren't
Yeah.
because they were not
Nicaragua,
playing.
yeah.
They were playing so illogical at some points. I'm like, y'all aren't thinking. Y'all aren't
Because
thinking.
they were the stubborn women. I told you that,
If
stubborn.
they would have
It's-
just stuck together, they could have ate this game up. But they could not do it. They couldn't do it.
The one thing I will say left is that
Mhm.
a lot of people are basically just considering this final immunity to be Caitlin's.
Yep.
Like everyone
I
is.
don't.
I don't straight up. Miles is someone
I think it's
that
Miles.
is going to fight. Like this is
Mhm.
his dream being this close, and he knows he has a killer game that he can present against honestly either of the two of AJ or Kaylin. He will not stop until he straight up faints. And that is just the dedication that Miles has given almost this entire season of like, my back is up against the wall. I'm not stopping until I'm physically unable to continue.
Mhm.
So my honest thought is what happens tomorrow. Miles wins.
hmm
My guess is takes AJ because their games are. He takes AJ because
Okay.
their games are so similar, and then he basically schools AJ.
Okay. What do you
I-
think? Brook?
That might be a little iffy because Kaylin might be an easier grab, but
Okay.
I'll
That's my
keep
gut.
it 100% honest. Literally everything Jack just said, I agree with.
Do you agree
Um,
with that? Okay.
I think Miles is going to take AJ, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Miles is going to win. And the reason I think that, right, is because I don't think Miles wants to go against Kaylin in the end, even though he probably should for his game. I think it makes more sense for him to take Kaylin. I think he just, at this point, if he votes out AJ, okay, cool, he voted AJ out. That's great. Take out a guy who's largely controlled a lot of this game. Great decision. But I don't know. I'm getting this vibe. And maybe it's the edit and maybe it's just the energy that I'm getting. I can't imagine this final 4 episode that I just watched, right, where Kaylin is at the final tribal council. It just doesn't make sense to me because I don't understand how we can be at a final 4 and this man wasn't a main character in an episode and make it to the end, because this episode was not about him in any way, right? The first half of the episode was about Miles, right? And the second half of the episode was about AJ and Zara, right? I don't understand a world where Kaylin can be at the end of the season, literally make it to the final 2, and not be featured in the episode before he wins or makes it to the end. It just doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't compute to me. Because we saw content from him in this episode, but it wasn't nearly as much as everyone else.
Well, it makes sense about Miles and Zara being
Mhm.
because Miles was the biggest target. Zara was the person who went home. So it makes sense that those were the 2 main focal points. I don't even think AJ was on the level of them. I think AJ and Kaylin both took a backseat for very logical reasons. But what I want to say is that we saw Miles just 2 episodes ago, very upset, crying because he was about to vote out his best friend. And I
Mhm.
don't think that changes at the very last day or the second to last day of this season. I think he wanted to vote out AJ for a reason because he felt like he was his biggest threat. Nothing has changed. So I actually do think Miles is going to win the final immunity challenge. But I think he's going to take Caitlyn. And even with Caitlyn making it to the final two, I'm not convinced he's going to win. Like, I would give the slight edge to Miles. I think
Mhm.
Caitlyn has a fighting chance,
Yes,
including based on
He
the
does
edit.
have a fighting chance.
he has a
Including
fighting
based on the
chance.
edit, I think he does. Especially because Australian Survivor has been criticized for making it so obvious who the winners are so often. So I could see them making a deliberate choice to rein it in a little bit this season. But I do, like, if I were to break it up, I'd give 45% to Miles, maybe 35% to Kaylin, and then the remaining 20 to AJ.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, David. I think Miles might pull out the immunity challenge. I think he takes Kaylin because I don't think there's a reason for him not to go after AJ again after he tried to go after AJ before. I think he does. He still goes after AJ because Miles has said AJ is his biggest threat because he knows they're game has been very parallel to each other. So they are both known as Captain Chaos. And I mean, you can't have two Captain Chaoses in the final final tribal. So I need one of the Chaos brothers to get up out of here. And if Miles is control, he got to get rid of his brother because I need to be the last chaotic person in this game so everybody understands I am the reason I am here. Not because of him. I brought myself here and I took him out. And not because big old Kaylin won immunity and drugged me here. I won. I brought him and I took out one of the bigger players in this game. And so I will give the edge to Miles. And like I said, I know Miles is not on my draft team, but I have said I would be very happy for Miles to win this game. I am a Miles stan. I
Oh, yeah.
think if he wins this
Oh,
game,
yeah.
he deserves to win this game because he played the best throughout this game. But I don't think Kalen is the biggest layup in this game either. And if, like I said, if he broke his game down like a fraction and more people like him at the end of this game than they like Miles, he could possibly win. Now, if people are just basing it on gameplay and strategy, he has a harder road to climb. But he has played some game and he has some strategy in this game. People just have to recognize it. And that is the problem. You have to make the jury see it.
And jurors, like, ultimately, like, the number one thing is they want to feel good about who they're voting for. And there's not a single
Yes.
person who would write down Kaylin's name and be like,
And not feel good
"Ooh, I
about it.
don't feel
Mhm.
good about that decision." Like, nobody's going to feel that way.
Mhm.
Right. Absolutely. But speaking of the draft, let's get into it real quick because we lost Jack last week and we lost Logan this week.
Yeah.
I was so close to winning this.
You were close, but Brook
But
showed up
no
and
Brooke
cigar.
showed up.
Brooke showed up, so we got to stick to the rules. But has come down to me and Brooke fighting it out for the final spot. Who's going to be the sole survivor? Brooke has AJ and Miles, and I am with Kaylin, and we shall see what happens. I still am not counting myself fully out of this game,
Never count you out,
but
Lana. Never
I
gonna.
will never count myself out. But I do, like I said, only person I will not want to see win is AJ. That's me. I
Yeah.
don't want to see AJ win. If he does win, good on him. Sure.
If
I
he
mean,
does win, we are going to see this kind of over exaggerated, crazy play style for the next 5 years because it worked once.
Okay, I
Like,
wouldn't
We're
mind
gonna
that.
get that
genuinely,
lovely
but
reprieve in
it's
Australia.
not
versus
even like
Canada.
good strategy. It will be people shouting random things during challenges because they can. We will not get an AJ, we will get 5 Nashes.
not Nash. Oh, Jesus
Um,
Christ.
I
was
will
thinking
say
Rich.
this. I will say this. This has
Rich.
so far been the year of Brook winning every draft they're in. I'm already locked up the win in Drag Race. Probably
This is
taking
not
home the
about
crown.
you. This
Oh,
is
it's
not
about
about
me.
you.
It's about me
This is
now.
not about you,
It's
and
about me
we're going
now.
to cut this out. We're wrapping it up because this is not about you and your victory speech. Come back Monday if you win.
Oh, I'm
We're not
going
doing that
to
right now. We're
to
not doing
obtain a
that right.
second
We're not
crown.
doing that right now.
You and
What we're
Thursday
not
for
going
a
to
third
do.
crown.
I'm going to
Absolutely
use the
not.
trap door.
Right. We're going to trapdoor Brook right away if he keeps this up. Absolutely not. They are not going to boast about a win that they don't have yet. Nope. Absolutely not. Not look, not on my watch. Not on my watch. But y'all have to come back Monday to see if Brooke is going to be here to actually be able to finally say something about that. But it's not happening this week. No, because I'm still in it. I'm still there. I'm still there.
Lana, we're
But
squaring off twice this week.
I mean, I'm not winning drag race. That's not happening
No,
at
I'm
all.
talking about the challenge because you have one team left.
Oh, I do I?
Frank and
I
Sam are on
forgot
your
about.
team. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not winning that. Come on. Frank and
I have
Sam are
Adam's
not
team.
winning.
I'm winning. But
I'm about to say, look, shoot, Devon and Shane can still win. I don't know anyone else. They can
they're
still
on my
win.
team too.
And I know, and I love that for them. If I would love that for them. I need that for them, honestly. But yeah, I'm not. Look, Frank and Sam is not winning, so I don't have to worry about that. That's fine. Uh, but we will be back here on Monday, tomorrow, to talk Survivor Australia finale. We have made it. We have done it. This is it. We're gonna finally see who is going to be the sole survivor out of Kaylin, Miles, and AJ. We all just said our predictions, so we don't have to say that. Y'all just come back tomorrow and see what who wins this draft, who wins this game, most importantly, and why would I be excited for Miles or Kaylin at this point? So let us know in the comments what you think. Who's winning? Tell us in your comments who you think is winning. Tell us your combination. Who's winning the immunity? Who's taking who? Let us know. I would love to see your thoughts on that. Tell us who you think, and we will be back tomorrow to talk about it and wrap it up. And we might have a special guest, so check that out. You want to stick around to find out who may be joining us tomorrow. Um, Follow us on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already done that. Thank you. If you have, if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Hit it right now. We need 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. That is our mission. That is our goal across this channel and all 4 channels. So subscribe here and then click in the link tree and subscribe to all the other channels. All those links are down there. You can follow us on our audio podcast channel. Podcast link that's in the description below. So if you need to check us out on the go. Also, our Patreon is down there. Join that so you can see some fun, exciting things going on in there. And follow us on all of our socials at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And you can follow the 4 of us on all of those places as well. All of those are scrolling down there and in the description below. And that's where you can get your merch too. That link is down there as well. So get your merch, subscribe to this channel, do all the things to support us, and we appreciate you for sticking around this whole hour and some change to talk Survivor Australia. So we're gonna get out of here, and we'll see you tomorrow. Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
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 Bye.